Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Sauradeep Sarkar, your host for today's webinar. Thank you for standing by and welcome to the Esri India webinar on ArcGIS 10.3. What's new? As you know, Esri has recently made ArcGIS 10.3 available to its customer. ArcGIS 10.3 is a major release that includes many new apps and enhancements that will boost your efficiency and extend the impact of your work in your organizations. In today's webinar, Ashish will now take you further through the new capabilities of ArcGIS 10.3 and share how you can leverage these new capabilities in your work. Ashish is Senior Manager Pre-Sales at Esri India. He has over 15 years of experience in GIS industry and has worked extensively on enterprise-level GIS solutions and integration. For the duration of presentation, all participants' line will be in listen-only mode. We'll have a Q&A session post the presentation. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you may also send them across to all panelists using the chat window on the right-hand side of your console. So now, without further delay, I would like to hand over the proceedings to Mr. Ashish Dhawan from Esri India. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thanks, Sauradeep. Thanks, everyone who has joined the conference and taken out time to join this conference. Today's main agenda would be to walk you through some of the latest features and functionalities which are there from 10.3. So I'm sure everyone would have been using the ArcGIS platform. They would have used the desktop solutions, the web solutions, and especially the mobile solutions. Going ahead, with this release, you would also get an additional portal for ArcGIS. Esri, as a mandate, has moved towards making the architecture as more open. So what do we mean by open architecture? Means it's trying to move towards a service-oriented architecture wherein we're trying to absorb services from different sources which are open. Esri also, as a mandate, has made sure that we have seen that there's lots of requirements which are coming from the 3D side. So in this release and the upcoming releases, you would see lots of new features and functionalities which will be coming out of 3D. Also, another important aspect of where Esri has taken its vision is to make sure that the people are using more of the GIS functionalities as configurations, so they don't need to spend more, even without being a full GIS savvy, they can still work just by configuring their apps and they can start working on the solutions. Coming to the next slide, one of the, as Sauradeep said, that this is a major release, so one of the major components which any desktop user is going to get is ArcGIS Pro. ArcGIS Pro is an additional desktop tool which will be available for you as an installer. For all the people who have the basic licenses, they will get ArcGIS Pro Basic. People who are using standard, they will get standard version of ArcGIS Pro, and people who are using advanced version, they will get the advanced version of ArcGIS Pro. Apart from that, all the desktop users will also get a free online subscription for a year based on the AMC. And along with that, there will be freely available apps which will be available which the user can use. Coming to some of the main key highlighting features of desktop, if we see, ArcGIS Pro is a desktop tool which has got 2D and 3D viewing capabilities together. So now any person who wants to start working with a 3D dataset, he can have a 2D and 3D pane working side by side. They can do their edits, they can share the data, whatever they want to do with 3D, they can start using it using ArcGIS Pro. Another important feature, as we are talking about open standards and moving towards that, Esri has made it another mandate of having open data. Open data enables all the organizations to share their data. They can have their data, whatever they want to share in form of services, which can be shared within the organization or outside their organization based on the credentials So the administrator has the rights of the data, how they want to share the data. Another important capability which has been incorporated is on the geoprocessing tools. We have the space-time pattern. We have improved on lots of analytic capabilities on hotspots. There has been, for the developers, you can work on ArcPython and Python scripts. For the ArcMap, if we see, there has been labeling capabilities which has been incorporated. The Maplik engine has improved a lot. How it has tried to make the labeling much more stable, scalable, and also because also it has a good performance. So all your earlier issues which you used to feel with respect to labeling, with respect to scaling, all those things will be answered using this new capabilities. Since this application has also been moved from 32 to 64 bit, so that's how it ensures that wherever the software is installed, it takes the full performance capabilities of the hardware. One additional important feature which you can see on the screen is the file licensing data sharing. If you have a file geodatabase and if you want to share it, earlier the people, whenever they used to share the data, it was never having licensing attached to it. So we have tried to make sure that if you want to share a data, it can be attached with a license which will be valid for the days which you want to share the data, and it also has a security code incorporated with it. This is to ensure that whatever data is being shared using the file geodatabases, the data is secured with the agency who procures the data, who has the data. An additional feature which has been added at the database level is the OGC compliance for geo packages. So the software now supports geo packages. We have enhanced lots of capabilities towards the parcel editing, towards services, and some of the extensions. So moving from ArcGIS Desktop, there's another tool which has been the EXE which we have been talking about a lot is the ArcGIS Pro. This is an application where you can see the 2D and 3D in one application. This is a 64-bit application. Being a 64-bit application, it ensures that whatever work you are trying to do, whatever the size of your data, it tries to ensure that it takes all the hardware capabilities and the performance of the software is good. So that's why you have a new faster display. You have multiple view layouts. You have multiple layouts. You can have multiple windows. You can have two windows of 2D and 3D working simultaneously together. So it's a very good improved user experience working with 3D data sets. Going ahead. There has been lots of extensions also which have been added to ArcGIS Pro, and all the developer community who has joined in, they would be happy to know that they can also do the development using Python scripting and .NET APIs. Some of the key highlighting capabilities of ArcGIS Pro are towards the editing. If you see the toolbars which is being shown here is having a ribbon interface. So by default, earlier people who were using the ArcGIS software, they would be always used to do enable editing. But with this ArcGIS Pro, what has happened is that by default, the editing is always enabled for the datasets which you are working with. You can work on multiple workspaces. The user has the option of enabling any layer on which he wants to do edits, whether it's 2D or 3D. Coming to the accessibility tools, we see that there are not only toolbars which are available, but there are also tools which are available on the ribbon interface. This is to ensure that whenever people are working on specific workflows, they can get the tools then and there available. So it makes a much more enriched user experience. Coming to the snapping capabilities, the software has the capability to snap to whenever you are doing edits, you can do snapping. There are lots of tools which are attached to the snapping. you can also ensure that whenever you are trying to snap a particular layer with another layer, you can turn on and off any layer based on the requirements which you have. So I'm sure this editing capability in ArcGIS Pro will be really helpful for the users who really want to do their data preparations. Coming to the data management, we have 9 new administrative toolsets which have been added at the data management level. People who want to work, there has been enrichment towards version management, towards configuration for their geodatabases. And if you want to repair your versions and you want to see the tables on which you are working on versions, so there has been a considerable enhancement towards these features. Another important toolbar which has been added is the task management. Task management helps you to work with your workflows. You can design your own workflows, you can record your workflows, and you can create your workflows. This ensures that if any company which is doing steps regularly, try to follow a similar steps while doing a workflow, they can create a workflow and the same workflow will be followed again and again. So you have a designer tool which is available with it, and you also have an option of recording it. Coming to the editing feature capabilities, we'll see that there's lots of enrichment towards the parcel editing. You can create your feature templates. What is a feature template? A feature template is you can define your own type of features, whether it's a point, line, or a polygon. You can attach attributes to it and you can create templates for that. So this will ensure that whenever you are trying to create features for a particular template, it will always ask you for that particular attributes which are attached to it. So this is an enhanced feature which has specially come up at the feature template level. Some of the enhanced capabilities are towards the export management. You can export your data in the form of PDF. It now also supports transparency, anti-aliasing capability, and improved graphics. You can have multiple layouts. You can have faster export options, and you can also go ahead with smaller file sizes. So the export capability is available in ArcMap as well as ArcGIS Pro. Now everyone has been using analysis in ArcGIS. So with the launch of ArcGIS Pro, there are lots of extensions which have also been supported in ArcGIS Pro. This is to ensure that the people who are working with the analytics on 3D datasets as well, they should be able to do the analytics. They should be able to do their work, whatever they used to do on 2D as well. They can now work on 3D datasets as well. So there are capabilities which have been added at the 3D level for geoprocessing, raster analysis, network analysis, 3D analysis, and statistical analysis. So these are some of the extensions which now are supported on ArcGIS Pro. In ArcGIS Pro, we have a special analytics ribbon interface. Here you have the option where you can define your own models with the help of Model Builder. You have a powerful analytics toolbar gallery in which you can, all the stuff which you earlier used to do on 2D, now you can do on 3D as well, having the capabilities of buffer, spatial analysis, network analysis. You can write your own commands using the Python scripting, and then there are lots of raster processing capabilities. Coming towards geoprocessing, there are lots of enhanced geoprocessing capabilities which have been added at the ArcGIS Pro level. In the raster analysis, there are lots. We have more than 170 plus geoprocessing tools which are now supported. It is you can define your own workflows using your vector and raster datasets. You can do spatial analysis together on vector and rasters. So it's an integration between your vector and raster spatial analytics workflows, which can also be extended using the model builder if required. Lots of enhanced features have come towards the hydrological analysis level, surface interpolation level, and many more. And there are lots of more tools which have been added to it. As we have been mentioning that this is a 64-bit application, thus it ensures that there are lots of parallel processing, and the multi-core, the hardware, if it's a multi-core, it will ensure that it takes care of it utilizes all the cores from the hardware. Coming towards spatial analysis, we have added another dimension, that is the 4D dimension. So you have now analytics capabilities for spatial analytics, where you can have relationship patterns for your 2D, 3D datasets, and the fourth dimension is the time dimension, which we have added. Another enhancement which has been done is at the space-time stuff and at the hotspot analysis level. So there are lots of emerging hotspot analysis which have been enhanced. I will just like to now walk you through one of the quick demos on the desktop and the ArcGIS Pro before we move ahead.
So what we are going to start with now is a teaser or a glimpse of what 10.3 is going to offer in terms of functionalities, in terms of the user interface. We have been through some slides, and those slides have discussed about the functionalities which are being offered. So let's see. So now, right now, what you are seeing on your screen is the classic ArcMap interface. You have your Arc catalog, ArcMap, everything side by side. Your data is cataloged on the right-hand side of the map application. So I'll start with the most talked about improvement or improvisation in 10.3. So that is a licensed geodatabase functionality. So over here in the catalog, you should be able to see an India folder, and over there you are able to see a secured.gdb file or file geodatabase. Now this is an unsecured one, and what we do is we simply go ahead and provide some licensing parameters to it, and it comes at secured_protected.gdb. Now, how do you recognize that this is a secured one? So let me try and add, or simply drag and drop a database to it, and it gives me a warning that opening the file database has failed. So there is an error opening feature class with access denied. So while we are creating these licenses for geodatabases, we can define if we want to export these feature classes to another geodatabase or not. So there is an option, you can allow or deny export, and then you can define a timeline. So this database would be available to the user only during that specific timeline. So what you need to do is, you need to go to your ArcGIS administrator. There is a tab which says check your data licenses. You need to add a license. So this would be something like this. It would be stored there in your geodatabase folder itself. It would be a SD.lic file, and you need to ship this license file with the geodatabase. So if you are sharing a geodatabase, please make a point to share your license file as well. You need to open it, and then you should be able to see the license information. So this data has the expiration date of 29th of March, and export has been denied. So that is one of major addition to 10.3. There are a number of additions into various toolbars, into various functionalities of 10.3. There have been many improvisation, and those documents are available on our website. Now quickly have a glimpse of ArcGIS Pro. So this is how ArcGIS Pro looks like. This would be just coming through. I hope it is visible on your screen. So on your left hand side of the application, what you see is the 3D view pane, and there is a 2D view pane. This is an extension, or this is in complete sync of your ArcGIS applications, your ArcGIS projects. So you get an option to import all your map files, be it an ArcMap, ArcGlobe or ArcScene document, be it a map package, be it a map file or a layout file. So you can import your existing projects into ArcGIS Pro and start working on them right away. So there is a complete 360-degree viewing available, and you can go ahead and link your views based on the center of the map area or project area, or center and scale. Then all your editing functionality, which you are very used to in ArcMap scenario, your editor workflows, they are available there in this ribbon interface. Snapping, modification, creation of editing templates available. Analysis gives you all the geoprocessing tools at your fingertips, and everything is available via a ribbon interface in an easy to use, easy to understand format. Your raster functions, your model builder, everything is there in ArcGIS Pro. So this is the way to go. This is going to be the way in future. Probably this is what is going to define your future in ArcGIS. So with this, I think we are done with the glimpse of ArcGIS Desktop enhancements, ArcGIS Pro, and we'll be moving back to the presentation.
Thanks, Vibhu, for the quick updates and the overview on the desktop level. So we have seen that there are lots of considerable changes which have come to the software, especially at the 3D level, and working with 2D and 3D together using ArcGIS. Going ahead, we will be walking you through some of the latest features which have come towards the server level. What we can see in the latest 10.3 is that now the server comes with a portal which has been added. You have a portal which can be installed along with your server. You have freely available apps with it. You have geo services available with it, and data management also, which is available with your server. I'm sure people who will be working on the development, they would be having a major challenge whenever they used to define working with layer IDs. Like if I had to work on layer IDs, it was always a problem. The layer ID were always used to move. If I used to add a layer or remove a layer, the layer IDs was never maintained. So what capability has been added in this is that you can fix your layer ID at the administrator level. So it ensures that if you want a point layer or a line layer at layer ID number 2, it will make sure that even if you drop a layer or add a layer, the layer ID which is attached to layer number 2 will be having the same layer number. Coming to one important extension which has been added is the geo event extension. There are lots of APIs. Nowadays we are talking about data which is coming out from real-time data. That real-time data can be coming from feed sensors, from services. So we have lots of new input connectors which have been added. You can attach it to your server. You can do your real-time processing on that. And once that real-time processing is done, what all actions can be attached to it is, you can, using those input data, you can highlight your map, you can send SMSs, you can send alerts, you can log incidents, and you can also send messages to other systems. So this enables, so the ArcGIS server is actually enabling your software to connect to other open systems, other real-time data which is available. Another important thing which has been added is the clustering support. Since we are talking about data sets which are coming in form of terabytes, so we should also ensure that whatever data sets we are working with, there should be a good performance there. And to have the high availability and good the processing capability, the clustering support has been added, which is out of the box. Then we have also tried to integrate with tools for, especially for Hadoop, the datasets which are coming, the big datasets and the outputs which are coming from Hadoop datasets. You can directly integrate it with them using the Geo Event extension. You can attach it to your server and then send those alerts to your applications. So there are new tools which are specially added for your big data and for your Hadoop datasets. There are lots of more new freely available apps which have been added. You can always download those freely available apps on your mobile devices or on your palm tops and start working with that. We have a new, as we were mentioning about the portal which is there. So with the portal, the things which have been added is the authoring tool capabilities which are there. So you can create your own mashups and you can create your websites very fast and you can author your dataset the way you want. I'm sure the developer community, whoever is joined here, will be really happy to see this new enhancement, which is called the Web App Builder. What it does is that you can create your websites, you can configure your websites by just using drag and drop features. There are lots of widgets which have been added. You can just simply drag and drop those widgets and you will be ready to go with a website which is available. You also have lots of configurable apps which can be taken as a template to start working with this particular website. Coming to the security, there's lots of enhancements towards the security level. We have tried to ensure that we follow the fine-grained security method, in which the users have the capability of assigning roles. So the user can have, the administrator has all the privileges, then the administrator gives rights to the publisher, and then there are some custom users which he can create. Those custom users will be attached to a role. And again, this is a fine-grained security, ensuring that all the data which is being exported in form of services is secured to the feature level, whether it's your raster dataset or whether it's your vector dataset. People nowadays, we would have seen that there are lots of places where we need to integrate our websites with other websites. So there is a new single web sign-on facility which has been available. SAML 2.0 support has been added to it, where you can, using this single sign-on, you can create your website and you can attach your website and you can attach your users' passwords with this. So after this, I will be quickly walking you through some of the server capabilities. If you see right now on the screen, you will be able to see that this is a portal which you are going to get by default with the server. On the top, you have the home tab, the gallery tab, the maps, the scenes, the groups, and the content. So each organization gets this portal and whatever contents have been added. So when I click on my contents, you will see that all the contents which are there attached to my particular organization, they will be attached here. I will be having options of going to particular apps. I've been right now mentioning that we have added the new option of creating a new website. So we can directly from the apps, we can go to the apps and we can say that create a web application using Web App Builder. Here I can give my title, new app. I can give any tag names so that it is easy for me to store this. and I can just say okay. What it does is it helps me to create a new web application. So if we go to the new web application, we will see that there are tabs which are available. There is a theme tab. The theme tab helps you to define the way, the look and feel you want to give to your web application. Then the maps which are published from the desktop, you can attach those maps using you can define your base maps. You can also define the data sets which you want to use. You can go to the map and configure your maps at this level. Another interesting feature is widgets. Now if you go to widgets, you see that there is an option where we see that you can just click on the widget. If you see, there are lots of widgets which are available for you by default. That is the base map gallery, the analysis gallery, the bookmarks, the charting, the directions, draw, edits, geoprocessing, legends, prints, and query. So all those things are now available for you just in form of just a click away. You can just add this widget and the site will be ready for you to go ahead and launch. And then once I have defined my layers, I have defined my widgets, I have an option of previewing my site. I also have an option in this where I can, if I want to deploy this application on an iPhone or on an iPad, I don't need to go and deploy this application on the system and see it how it would look like. I can very well design it at this level and then save it. And when I save this application and then I access it using an iPad or an iPhone, I know what I'm going to get. So I'm sure the developer community will really be happy with this, and even the people who just would like to create the website themselves without writing a single line of code, they will be happy to work with this site. So right now we had just seen a glimpse of the new features which had been added at the server level. I will be now moving you ahead to another extension which has been added is the City Engine. The City Engine, if you see, is a new extension which has been specially designed to make sure that you can start working with your 3D data sets. You can create your smart cities. Nowadays you would have seen that India has, our Prime Minister has specially mentioned that we should have 100 smart cities in India. So based on the same scenario, we can use this extension along with the server and create your own city models. So once we have this extension, you can create your own water bodies. You can define the trees, the type of trees you want to add. You can define your terrains. You can define your buildings. You can, the way you want to write. You can have your footprints, and you can even define your streets. Even in the streets, if you want to know that if you want to have a tram or a cycle lanes separate, the software gives you a facility to design the streets at that level. So I'm sure once a person starts using the City Engine, he will be really happy to work with such software. Now this 3D software is available to you in all the platforms. That is the City Engine at the desktop level. Then we have the ArcGIS Pro with 3D Analyst. So if you want to do your analytics on top of with the 3D data sets, you have this 3D extension available with ArcGIS Pro, which will help you do your analytics on 3D. If you want to visualize your data, you have web scenes available. You have Firefox, Chrome, and browsers where you can export your 3D datasets and view it on a browser. And again, not to forget that now since everybody wants to have the 3D datasets available on Windows, Androids, and iOS, So we have that support already available. We also, for the developers, we also have the 3D runtime available where you can start doing your development using the 3D runtime. So 3D is now available across the platform. Coming to the support of datasets which are there, you can see that all the major available 3D data formats which are there, like KMZ, OBJ files, DA files, FBX files, or YUV files, all those data can be consumed in your city engine. You can start doing your designing the way you want to design your particular city. You can design your data, you can define how it should look like even before actually going to the implementation stage. Even at the planning stage, you can have a full glimpse of your datasets on 3D. So that's City Engine is giving you a full flexible environment to create your 3D datasets, and you can also attach rules for your 3D datasets along with that. So with that, we have come to the end of the glimpse of the latest features of 10.3. Now we can, I think so, go to question and answer sessions.
So we have few questions. The first question is from Harshal Gharat, and his question is there any integration with Google SketchUp?
Harsh, I would be happy to announce that there has been integration of Esri technology with Google, in which at the server level as well. And what they have done is, you would have seen that there is a deprecation of Google's server stuff, and what Google is now going to promote is the Esri technology, especially for this. And talking about the SketchUps which you are talking about, yes, City Engine has that option where you can have those integrations of Google SketchUp.
Okay. So next question is from Ajinkya Jadhav. He's asking, we are existing Esri users. Do we need to purchase ArcGIS Pro, or this is an upgrade which we will get under AMC?
If you are having the, if you have gone for the upgrade of 10.3, in my very first slide I told a person who is having this, who is having 10.3 software with them, they are already entitled to this ArcGIS Pro. The person who are using ArcMap Basic will get a license of ArcGIS Pro Basic free, which is complimentary along with that. So they just need to ensure that they go for the upgrade for 10.3. That's it. So ArcGIS Pro will be complimentary with that.
All right. So next question is from Upendra Kasam. He's asking, what is the difference between Esri Workflow Manager versus Task Manager?
Esri Workflow Manager is actually, there was a special extension which was there at the ArcMap level. This Task Manager is now available as an integrated version within your ArcGIS Pro. It would so you can define your workflows in the ArcGIS Pro itself now.
Okay. Rajesh Kulandvelo wants to know more about the file geo database, basically data sharing with license.
Yeah, I think so. If you would have seen the demo which we have done today, which Vibhu had helped me to do the demo, you would have seen that we had, the first thing what we did was we had tried to create a file geodatabase in which we had tried to secure it. In that file securing, we had the option of saying that this particular dataset should be available for viewing only for till this particular date. So I am ensuring that I am giving a date that this dataset is available for sharing for 15 days. And secondly, after 15 or 20 days based on your requirement. Secondly, I am also giving him option of attaching a secured file with it. So if you would have seen the demo, in that when we were trying to drag and drop the datasets on the ArcMap, you were not able to add it because the datasets were secured. But as soon as you go to your ArcGIS administrator, add that license file which is available for you. That license file will enable you to view that particular data set. And again, in file database, when you are exporting the database, you have the options to ensure whether you want to just give it as a read-only database or a editable database to the end customers. So all the security is lying with you. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Ashish. So Jyotirmaya Mishra wants to know whether this is a desktop application or web application, ArcGIS Pro.
ArcGIS Pro is a desktop application.
Jyotirmaya, you've also asked for the licensing cost, so it would be good if you can write an email to info@esriindia.com. The sales team will touch base with you for the costing. Okay. Next question from James. He says, you have said that the license is added in the file GDP when sharing. I use an ArcPython script to back up the data from an SDE, and the script creates a file GDB and copies the data to it. Will it have any impact over the existing mechanism of creating the file GDB and sharing it, having the licenses added to it?
It is just an option which is available for you. If you want to attach it with your Python script, you can attach it. If you don't want to attach it, you want to keep it as separate, you are free to do that.
Thank you, Ashish. Then Ajankya Jadhav has another question. He's asking, does ArcGIS Pro able to show underground utilities from CAD?
There is an option where you can start importing your CAD data within your ArcGIS Pro. Once you import that data, you will be seeing that all the 3D data which is available, you can see your underground data, you can see the same level data, or excluded buildings also you can design it and you can see it. So with this, so ArcGIS Pro actually enables you to view, design the way you want to work with your 3D data sets.
Thank you, Ashish. Prerna Ramesh has a question. How do I create the .lic file?
Vibhu will be just answering that.
Hi. So for creating a license file, there are some tools which are available in your ArcGIS desktop. So easier way to do that would be just go to your search option, try and type over there license geodatabase. So you will be getting two tools available for that. So the first one allows you to create or secure a geodatabase with licensing parameters, and then the second tool would allow you to publish a licensing file for that. So that's where you get your SDLIC file. So it is a pretty straightforward process, and your original geodatabase will lie with you unsecured, and the one which you want to export would be given the licensing rights and the license file along with that. So just give it a try. If you face any issue, get back to us. We'll love to help you out with that.
Thank you, Vibhu. Harshal Dharas has another question. Is there any facility to process input connectors using ArcPython library?
We will have to check that, and we will have to get back to you. We can get back to you on that question. I think it will be better if you can send this query on the email ID to us, and then we will revert to you.
Okay. So Harshal, you can write an email to info@esriindia.com. Vineet Bitla has a question. Is Geo Event extension free of cost? What is the difference between Geo Event Processor and this Geo Event extension?
Geo Event extension is not free of cost. It comes with an additional cost. The benefit of extension is that you can attach the data. Nowadays, we see that there are lots of data which is coming out from external sources, especially the big data and the data which are coming out from sensors, or the data which is coming from your real-time data sets, like if you want to see the traffic movement or the aircraft movement. If you want to do such type of activities, you have got APIs which are available, which will enable you to connect to this type of sensors. It will attach that particular data set with your geo event with the ArcGIS server, and then you can the way you want to export is like if you want to do a highlight based on that particular input, or if you want to give some alerts for a particular event, you have those capabilities of attaching events with this. So hope this would have answered the GeoEvent query.
Thank you, Ashish. Ajinkya Jadhav has another question. It's a quite interesting question. He says, I'll be really interested in 3D modeling. MWH Global is a wet infrastructure company, and we show clients proposed subsurface utilities, water pipes, wastewater pipes, manholes. Does City Engine support this?
I would be happy to say that yes, it is already supported by it. It is also been recommended for utility sector as well. And even when you are trying to define your utilities for your smart cities, you can even do that type of planning there. So all those capabilities are there, inbuilt capabilities as COTS features to you. So you can definitely work with your utility data sets using City Engine for your planning, for your designing purpose. There is a special tool also available for designing called GeoDesign, which will enable you to design your particular 3D data sets in the City Engine.
Thank you, Ashish. Abhay Malviya has a question. Could I migrate 9.3 ArcGIS data applications into ArcGIS 10.3, and how?
It's not a direct one where you can directly migrate it, but definitely you will have to upgrade your application. You will have to, if there are some changes in the APIs, you will have to change those references, and then and if there are some changes in the services level, then you will have to repoint them to those new services which are coming out of that server. So there will be a little bit of activity which will be required to be done. It's not a direct upgrade. It's not direct like copy paste by which it will help you to work with upgrade your websites which are already developed on 9.3.
Kiran Kumar has a question. Whether ArcGIS portal is license specific, that is, ArcGIS portal is available only with advanced version of ArcGIS server.
No, now it has come up with the standard version as well. So ArcGIS portal is now available with standard and advanced. The basic doesn't have it still, but with standard version of ArcGIS server, you will already. This is a new thing which has been added in 10.3. That even the people who are using the standard server can have this. And one more thing to add to this is that with the standard server, you will be having 5 named users.
Thanks. Upendra Kasam has another question. Is there any special tools planned to introduce related Esri versus BI, Esri versus big data, more towards data visualization demands in the market?
If you would have seen that we have got lots of plugins which are available for the BI systems like ERP, CRM, and BI, Microsoft's strategic tools. So all those plugins are already available. You can directly use those plugins. You can call those APIs and you can start building on top of that. And as I have already explained in one of the slides that we are already connecting to Hadoop dataset. We also have a support for HANA datasets as well. So any systems which is having HANA or Hadoop is supported.
Another question from Aniruddha Roy. Is there any data loss if we export enterprise GDP to file GDP?
There's no data loss when we move data from. There's no data loss for that.
Thanks, Ashish. Rajesh Goswami asks, service published on ArcGIS server, is it possible to do integration with SAP?
Yeah, even as I told you, we have plugins which are available. So even we have plugins available for SAP as well, which are already available on our ESRI site. You can directly see more details there. So the plugins are available for that as well.
Another interesting question from Jyotirmaya Mishra. What is the major reason behind promoting ArcGIS Pro? Is ArcGIS 10.3 going to be obsolete?
No, 10.3 is not going to be obsolete. It's just to ensure that we are first of all we are trying to ensure that we move from the 32-bit to the 64-bit application, so that we can ensure the higher because the server, if you see, the hardware is also changing. So we need to ensure that we take all the capabilities of the hardware, and we can do a much more multi-threaded type implementation. That's why we have moved to ArcGIS Pro. Secondly, the benefit is that whenever we want to work with 2D and 3D together, we can always, this is a major enhancement which has been done at the Pro level, where you can visualize, design, edit your data, especially when if you want to work with 2D and 3D datasets together.
Okay, thank you. Nitin Pandey is asking, is there any training services from your side for this upgraded version?
That I think so. It depends upon the type of. I think so. You can send your training queries to the training division, and they will be able to tell you which AMC you are available to and what type of trainings you are attached to. So I think so. You will have to send it to the trainings division. Trainings at esri.com. You can send this query to trainings@esri.com. They will be able to answer this stuff.
Satish Katwal asks, do the buyer of 10.1 have we to pay extra for the City engine, or is it free? How to go for this?
City engine is an additional extension which is there available for you. You will have to pay for additionally for this particular extension, and you will also have to go for the upgrade to 10.3.
So, looking at the time, this is the last question, Ashish, from Rajesh Goswami. Can we directly migrate 10.3 services published on ArcGIS server 10.2?
From 10.3 to 10.2?
Can we directly migrate 10.3 services published on ArcGIS server 10.2?
Yes, we can.
On ArcGIS.
We can directly do that. We have that compatibility already available with us. So I think so. We have tried to answer the queries which were there. Now, if there are still some unanswered queries which are left, you can always send your queries to info@esriindia.com. You can also see we have lots of social sites also available where we keep on sending these updates for the latest releases, especially on the social media sites like Facebook and LinkedIn. So I'm sure if you are attached there, you will be able to have much more information to our software there.
Thank you, Ashish.
Thanks, Rashmi. Thanks everyone for joining in to this conference for this webinar. Back to Shwardeep.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like to thank all the participants for joining us and the panelists. With this, we conclude the session for today. Wish you all a great day ahead. Thank you very much.